Hi Aries, and welcome to your May 2019 general read. I'm Jade with Yes, Yes, Yes. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. What we're doing today is I am starting with the cards from the overall from the whole year. I'll have that link in the box below. And this is a read for Sun, Moon, and Rising Aries. And let's see, what else? Thank you all for your comments. I really am loving all the feedback. So feel free, throw something down in the comments section if it's resonating. I'd love to hear from you. Hit that thumbs up button because it helps the channel out so much. And yeah, if you want to get a personal reading with me, and those of you who have, thank you. That information, my website link, is also in the box below. All right, so we're going to get started here with the overall for this month of May. You have the Seven of Wands energy from the Line Strider deck. And this is the energy of standing your ground, making your boundaries very, very clear. You're going through some struggles. There's been a need to separate yourself, to pull your energies more towards yourself because perhaps there was a threat. What I'm feeling is that it's just a check, right? It's just you making sure that you have yourself taken care of, or your family, whatever it is, you know, the most important people or person in your life. So it's you just making sure, pulling your energy back from engaging with others and making sure that your boundaries are clear. And if this is a new connection with somebody, it's really important to be clear with your boundaries and what your expectations are. It's clarified by the bear in the Lenormand deck. And this energy here is similar to the Emperor. It's a very authoritative figure, somebody who's overbearing, literally. It could be a mother or a father. It could also be a boss or someone who is who has that type of energy. So what I'm feeling here with the combination of these two cards is that if it's possible that, excuse me, it's possible that you are pulling back to clear, make your boundaries really clear because there's somebody who's pushing them, okay? Somebody who's coming in, who's very strong, just like you are, and pushing through. And I know that the Emperor card, like I said, that this is similar. The Emperor card is the Aries card. So this might be a mirroring situation where you're having to face some things for yourself too about being overbearing, making sure that clear boundaries are set. And I don't think that it really has to be kind, right? I feel like it has to be very clear without, compassion's always I think is a good idea to have, but to make things very clear so that there's no misunderstanding. Now, for the overall for the year in the mystical, shaman oracle, you have the Sun card. This is your energy. It's beautiful energy. We are all revolving around Aries this year. That's kind of the idea, is that, everybody's going through their thing this year. Everybody has their own energies, but Aries, what you're doing is you're stepping forward in your powers this year, which is beautiful. I think Leo also has like fire. So you both are stepping forward in your powers and really shining, really bringing new energy to all of us, freshness, right? And it's enlivening. There's a lot of beautiful, like the heartbeat, right? You guys are carrying the heartbeat for the rest of us. So we love this. Thank you very much. All right, let's move on. What I'm gonna do is use the Rider-Waite deck. It's been pre-shuffled. And I'm looking for 3 cards for the past, 3 cards for the present, and 3 cards for the future. And then we'll clarify the story a bit, okay? So let's see what's going on for Aries. Which Aries am I reading for? That's always what's interesting when it comes out in the past. So, Aries, let me have 3 cards, please, for the past. Let's see here. Cards have been sticky. There's one. And, I forgot to mention that I have a head cold. So, the words may sound a little nasal. Do forgive me. There we go. All right. Yeah, they are being a little sticky. So we started off with the Six of Wands, nice, feeling victorious. Maybe this is because you have been choosing to be really clear with that boundary. I like that you're in your energy. This is fire energy. It's great. So we'll see, there was something in the past that you felt as if you had checked that off the list. And this, we've gone through a lot of deep work, deep internal work. So you might be reflecting upon all the deep work that you've done. Also, you had birthday season, and hopefully that was enjoyable for you. Now you also have the Knight of Swords that came out in the reverse. So this is the need to have a conversation. Now during March, which began in your season, that we're still dealing with Mercury in retrograde, and the effects of that last a bit. So I'm seeing that still coming up in some of these readings where there's still the need to be completely clear, to come full forward with whatever the truth is. This is also truth coming into you, and it could have been a hurtful truth. So something could have come through for you in the near past or deeper past that was a hurtful truth. Something that, it might have even been a malicious truth. So that would be, somebody who wants to say, oh, did you know that your boyfriend is sleeping with so-and-so kind of stuff, yes, it's true, but it doesn't have to come across that way. It's just that person was in a negative vibration and they're trying to take you down, blah, blah, blah. That's just one instance. But what it's seeming is that there's some kind of truth that came in that was hurtful. And even though you had some victory in the past, it was something that just kind of cut into you just a little bit. Now we also have this Knight of Wands, and that came out in the upright. So the action taken from that is actually quite positive. Now I'm also seeing it's possible that you had two people that were kind of trying to come in, both knights, right? So knights are swooping in. One that might have been a little bit devious, not speaking their truth, maybe telling stories, maybe just trying to win you over. And then this Knight of Wands, which is the energy of, I'm going to do and be everything that's perfect for you. So you might have been feeling really good because you had some attention here also in the past. Let's see what comes forward here in the present for Aries. Aries energy, please. Okay, 1, 2. I just need one more. There we go. All right. So we have the Sun card. We have the Leo card that came out in the upright, in the reverse. So if it is Leo, or if it is another fire sign, we've got some issue with, and this is also a childhood card, right? Innocence, but naivete, right? So if this is relating to these knights, and it could be, but usually this major energy is really yours. What I'm feeling is that what might be happening for you in the present is that you are not quite jumping forward in your sun energy. That's the overall for the year. So whatever happened in the near past, even though you were feeling pretty good, this back and forth energy between perhaps two suitors, or perhaps it's a truth that came in that hurt, that cut a little bit. It's caused you to pull back, and maybe that's the reason why you're kind of on guard and you're laying your boundaries clear, because it's not quite so happy celebration time right now. It's time to, you're pulled in, pulling back, resisting shining so much, taking note. What is that? What you're doing is you're counting all the things that you have, making sure that everything is accounted for and that is taken care of, because perhaps you felt like you put yourself out there too much, which you hadn't. It was just that there was something that came in maliciously cutting at you. That's all. Now we also have this Ace of Pentacles in the present, which is actually quite beautiful. It's a beautiful new start. It could be a new start with work, with maybe a little bit of money coming in. It can also mean that there is you might have a new health routine that you're looking into, but body consciousness. So Pentacles are health, they're food, clothing, shelter, health, well-being, and money. And when we have aces, it's the beginning of a new cycle, right? And it also, this is quite a large pentacle. So you could have a bit of money coming straight into your pocket. Now, we did just have tax season. So, this could be that you're feeling that nice reward of having a kickback after tax season. The other thing I'm feeling is that this is really just a new connection, and it could be a new business even. We've got major arcana on the outside, both in the reverse. We also have the Chariot. This is Cancer energy. So it's the resistance of movement, okay? There's also an imbalance. So I think that what's really going on is that you're looking at how can I begin this new process? How can I be, how can I, be more body-centered if it's, if it's a health routine? How can I feel more success at work if we're talking about work? Or how can I feel more abundant if we're talking about finances? But at the same time, you're pulling yourself back energetically, and you're not moving forward. You're just kind of hunkering down to review what is the best choice for you to move forward, okay? So you're pulling your energy back, and you're not moving. You're trying to find the balance in the next step to take forward. I like that this is all of your energy. So whatever this Knight energy was in the past, if it was people, they might have been just clouding up and mucking up your life, and they might have just, you put them off to the side. We'll see if any of that comes back out. The other thing is that could have specifically just been information, where information came in the past, cut at you, and then another piece of information came in to maybe start to generate this new project that you're considering, okay? Now let's move into the future for Aries. What's going on in the Aries future? There we go. Okay. More reversals, okay. And here's the thing about reversals is that the information, the cards are on the table. So that means that you have the power to reverse the energy anytime that you choose, just so that you know this is never predetermined, in my opinion. So we have the Wheel of Fortune card came out in the reverse. So again, a cycle's wanting to finish, but we're not quite allowing it. And I feel like this is you really digging in and trying to make things become the way that you want. And there's a certain point where you have to let go. And that's that like overbearingness. There's a certain point where you have to trust that you've laid the groundwork, you've laid the foundations as perfectly and as beautifully as possible, and you have to trust that everything is going to turn out just fine. Now, even though in the past there was the stuff that came up that cut at you, and that's probably what has pulled you back, you don't need to stay pulled back any longer, because you've moved past that, okay? So now it's the cards are beckoning you to continue to move past it, okay? So the Wheel of Fortune being in the reverse is beckoning you to turn it to the upright, so that this cycle can move forward, so that you can start something new, bringing in more fortune, bringing in your good luck, rather than holding back and trying to just work it all out in your mind or work it all out on your own before you come back out. So a lot of times we have to trust the process and just go and start doing the work, rather than trying to do all the work behind the scenes and then showing the baby, right? Go out and make the baby in the public. So the baby meaning if it's, a health routine, if it's a new job, if it's, finances, that kind of thing. Now we also had the Hangman that came out in the reverse. So this has a couple of meanings. I look at it as, I actually like the Hangman because I like the new perspective that it gives us when it's in the upright. When it's in the reverse, what that's telling me is that either we are resistant to a new perspective, we're resistant to looking at things differently, and even putting ourselves in the situation of having the power to look at things differently. So there's a resistance to seeing what role you play in all of this, rather than having it just kind of happen to you. The other thing is that if you have gained that, if you've gained that perspective, now with it being in the reverse, you are coming out of that. So, if we're discussing coming out in the world and showing the world and doing the things, creating the thing publicly rather than privately, that card could also be portending that you are coming out because you gained new perspective, and now you're coming out and stepping forward into life. That's why he would be, he's basically upright when it's in the reverse, okay? So he could step forward out of this. So apply whichever one of those works for you. The final card is the Page of Swords, and it came out also in the reverse. So this could be, yet again, another little dig. And I don't know if it's the same person because this person seems to be younger, but just be aware. I feel like, Aries, you are onto something magical. You are doing great work. You are just getting hit from the sides by people who are either jealous or who want a piece of you, who want to ride the coattails, who are, the term is schadenfreude, when you enjoy life, or you enjoy looking at the suffering of others, something along those lines. So I don't know if I said that right, but the point is that there are these people around you who are noticing that you have this power. You've been generating this energy. People are really noticing you this whole year. Okay, this is you're in the leadership role, right? So you're going to draw to you those who are not quite in their highest selves. They're not being their best self because they're struggling, and they're seeing you being your best self, and they're struggling trying to get to some of that, okay? Trying to pull some of that energy in. So that's why there would be those little digs, the people who would be talking about you behind your back, those kind of things. So, and this is, Page of Swords is also somebody who's watching you, lurking around, and it's, again, not positive energy because they're not in their highest vibration. So the advice here is to continue to be in your highest vibration by sharing yourself and your process. Trust that that is the way to do it. I know that these little digs around you are causing you to collapse in on yourself and to hold your work ideas, your business ideas, whatever it is, hold it precious, but you have to share them in order to change the world, in order to manifest what you're truly wanting to manifest. Now, it's totally fine to pull yourself back and get reflection time and to decide the next step forward. Just be aware that it's, these future cards are all in the reverse. Be aware that you may have a desire to hold yourself back a little longer than it's necessary, okay? So maybe try to step forward, breaking free just a little sooner, where it might feel a little uncomfortable to step forward, okay? Just a little bit sooner than you might normally have. Now, what I'm curious about is, what are we talking about? Okay, I've got, with it being Pentacles, we're talking about multiple possibilities, but I want to see specifically what are we discussing here in terms of this new project and why people are looking at Aries wanting to get some of that. Okay, so we have one card that fell. That's the World card. Let's see if I've got two more coming. Okay, they're all falling. I'm gonna take them all. Take them all. Okay. Now, when they fall, we can look at it in different ways. I basically try to look at both positive and negative, the upright and the reversal, because even though it's off the table, doesn't necessarily mean that it's a reversal. In my opinion, I like to look at all the options anyway. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about a new cycle. We're talking about, and yes, we've talked about it before, but this new cycle of ending something to begin the next phase, right? This is a level up for you. And I feel like these people who are digging at you a little bit, they are realizing that you might leave them behind if you move on to this new cycle, okay? Now, the resistance to the cycle is the same thing we've also been talking about, which is you pulling yourself back to decide if this is truly what you want or if it's going to serve your needs, and when it feels good for you to share it with the world, okay? The world, literally. Now, again, major arcana here. So this is a major shift for you. It makes sense that you're feeling it and you're drawing yourself within because you feel how major it is. So whatever major is happening for you right now, where you can see that you are going to be shifting your life from one thing to another, and right now you're counting everything in your life to make sure you can pick it up and take it with you, okay? So this is a major shift that's happening in your life that has something to do with either your physical well-being or your physicality. You might actually be moving somewhere. I don't see, like the one movement card, the Chariot, was in the upright, or it was in the reverse. So it's, it's your choice if that applies to you, of course. So if we're discussing your physical nature or well-being. So if you are getting ready to change your dietary habit or your physical appearance, even maybe you're going in for surgery to have implants or facelift or something like that. So that's something that's up for you right now. It's a major change, okay? And it also could be about money or a job. So those two aspects as well. Now we also have the Seven of Pentacles. This is that waiting card. We're waiting. We planted the seeds and we're waiting. And again, it's Pentacles, right? So you planted the seeds of either maybe you invested in new stocks. Maybe you invested in, a startup. So you've planted your seeds, you've actually planted your money or your ideas into something, and you've been waiting for it to materialize. Don't wait too long, okay? So that's what we're talking about. We're definitely talking about something that's very physically manifested here. And then we also have the Seven of Wands, repeated Seven of Wands, okay? So this is what, there we go. So this is what we're discussing, is that this need that you are feeling right now to lay your boundaries very clear for the world. You're ready to fight. You don't want to fight, but you're ready to fight. You're showing that you can. You're showing that this is, this is your space, and I'm going to fight for it. This is my idea, and I'm going to fight for it. This is my creative project. This is my new way of being. I'm going to fight for it. That's what we're talking about here, okay? And I'm feeling like it's definitely body or, pentacles oriented. So it would be money or job or health, okay? Let's see what's at the bottom of the deck here. We've got Ace of Wands. I love this. Okay, so now we're ready to shift that energy. So all of this is happening in order to shift you forward so that you can have a new beginning, okay? And I know that you're feeling it, so here's the advice. Here's what's coming up. You're taking your time, okay. Removing yourself, okay. Accounting for what's important to you in life, totally okay. Now, don't get stuck there. Remember that you have to lay the groundwork. You have to make the move. And this is very integral to Aries anyway. So I know I'm not saying something that's totally crazy. I'm just wanting to make sure that you don't stay hidden too long. You don't stay back too long. By the 3rd or 4th week of May, come back out. Okay? Okay. So Aries, that's what I have for you today. Stay tuned for other readings. And for now, I'll send you all my love.